Just sign it, and all your problems will disappear.
The Stellaris developers have graced us with another live stream, another early look at Stellaris First Contact. This time they focused on the brand new Payback origin, which is the Independence Day inspired origin. I have gone through their live stream, cropped down all of the relevant bits of information that they have revealed, all of the little tidbits you may want to know, and condensed it down into this much shorter video. We're going to be finding out much more about the new Payback origin, what that specialized flagship, the MSI Flagship, does, a whole host of new modifiers and tooltips and whatnot, some events, and as well, a brand new wargoal. Oh, and on top of that, the devs may or may not have shown us a little leak about cloaking technology and what it actually does by hovering over the cloaking tooltip. Stick around for all of that and more as we dive in. Let's start by reminding ourselves what the Payback origin actually does. It starts with a warning that this is a challenging origin, and having seen the stream, I think that is entirely accurate and fair. You're going to start with 10 fewer pops than normal, which is a massive handicap. I cannot lie, it's disturbingly low in terms of pop count at the start of the game. You'll begin with several important technologies yet to be researched and an infrastructural disadvantage. Not only that, we have some modifiers on our planet that are going to really hurt us right at the start of the game from an economic perspective. We will be able to get a special archaeology site in our system, a destroyed battleship of the former invaders. This origin also guarantees a number of pre-FTL civilizations will spawn throughout the galaxy, regardless of the pre-FTL civilization and pre-sapient species slider settings. A random pre-FTL civ will also be uplifted to have the Broken Shackles origin. That is the other origin that ties in with this one kind of thematically, and that is because both origins have the big baddie set up as Minimar Specialized Industries, an advanced empire with the Your Ladder to the Sky origin, which is spawned somewhere else in the galaxy. The narrative backstory for this origin is that we had a deal. When the visitors from the stars revealed themselves, they offered us a fair contract, technological enlightenment, to be repaid in installments. Within a generation, our planet was transformed into a so-called advanced civilization. Then we read the fine print. To repay our debt, they insisted we work for them on an indefinite term. When our leaders protested, the outsiders turned violent. We fought back. We won, though barely, and only after suffering sizable losses. Now our scientists have finally reverse engineered the secrets of FTL travel from the ships we destroyed. It's a big galaxy out there, but sooner or later we're sure to meet our benefactors again. In fact, we're looking forward to it. And then we go on to talk about the fact that we want to get some payback. So basically this origin is somewhere between Independence Day, XCOM, also some DS9 references here, I think with the Bajorans possibly. But otherwise, it seems like a great melting pot that I cannot wait to dive into when this DLC releases on the 14th of March. Just like Broken Shackles, you will start off with only a starbase and a capital planet. That means you have absolutely no ships of any kind. And just like it said in the origin description, you'll be missing key technologies that other empires start the game with, and this even includes corvettes, so you won't be able to build any offensive military ships until you research that technology. This origin picks up right where the film Independence Day left off. For that reason, your capital starts in a war-torn state. Devastation is at 32%, meaning we have negative housing, there aren't any amenities issues, but as you can see, we're missing quite a lot of districts and we have quite a low population. One of the two modifiers on our capital is the absolutely terrible debris field. It gives a minus 30% habitability nerf, plus 15% building and district cost, and a whopping plus 50% building and district upkeep. That is going to hamper our early progress when we're trying to build up the economy of our nation. But once we get a science ship in orbit and a scientist above the planet, we'll be able to complete a special project to actually clear away this debris field. And as you can see on the right, there is actual in-game graphics. We get to see all of this debris scattered around our planet. cleaning up this orbital debris also gives us access to the battleship archaeology site, which we'll get to in just a moment. But before we do, you might have been wondering what on earth the other modifier was. Well, that other modifier is Unified Purpose. It gives us plus 15% happiness, plus 25% amenities, and plus 10% resources from jobs, so it is quite similar to Prosperous Unification. On top of that, it also gives us plus 2 Unification Officer jobs, and it will expire in about 20 years, so don't count on this being here forever, because it absolutely won't be. This is a nice modifier to have, though it definitely does not completely offset the fact you're lacking 10 pops, a bunch of districts, and much more. The Unification Officer jobs provide us with 3 amenities and a bunch of unity. They cost some food upkeep and a small amount of consumer goods, so overall, they're actually quite worth it in terms of cost-benefit analysis. You'll notice next to them as well from the screenshot, we are getting 2 workers in a gene clinic. That's a little bit weird, but that's because we have a gene clinic on the planet to start the game with. However, that gene clinic won't be sticking around for long if we don't play our cards right. And if you're enjoying this video, please sign up to become a Unification Officer using that like button. Oh, and all of the space resources in your home system, yes, you don't start with any of them actually utilized. You have no mining stations and no science platforms anywhere. Just like Broken Shackles, we have a bunch of ship debris tile blockers which we will need to clear in order to get full access to our planet. Unlike Broken Shackles, we won't have to complete the archaeology site chain to do so. We'll only have to spend energy. And when we spend that energy, we'll get some fantastic rewards. Sometimes technologies, sometimes, as we can see here, we'll get special resources like Unity or alloys. Actually, the rate of return from these tile blockers seems really good. If you can decrease that energy cost yet further with the right governor, possibly speccing into the domination tradition tree, you're going to be looking at very low costs in order to get Unity alloys and special advanced technologies. Speaking of the archaeology site in orbit, as we go through the levels of that, we're going to be able to get extra things like research output or occasionally a bit of influence. And then when we have completely finished this archaeology chain, we get a fantastic choice. Either we can turn this derelict hulk into a warship, therefore doing a flagship restoration, or alternatively, we can turn it into a science-based habitat. Now, we didn't get to see on stream what that habitat looks like, so we can only speculate on that part. The devs did mention that it is science-based, or at least science-adjacent, so perhaps we can have some science districts on it, which might be quite useful. On the other hand, this flagship restoration leaves us with a single ship that has a fleet power of around 2,000. If we do pick the warship option, this warship does not come with much advanced technology. The notable features here are that it does in fact have a cloak and a cloaking strength, so it will be able to cloak and go undetected if we'd like it to, and it has some fighters. On top of that, it has a whole bunch of slots that are currently completely unfilled. They will, however, become filled as we advance technologically and get better and better ship technology, specifically as we get things like destroyer technology, cruiser, and finally battleship. We will unlock special projects to refurbish and refit this ship. When we get battleship technology, we really do unlock quite a powerful vessel. This ship is now worth around 10,000 naval power. It has a cloaking strength of 4, lots of shields and armor, advanced afterburners, a carrier combat computer, a jump drive, level 3 fighter technology, kinetic artillery. Yeah, it's actually quite a powerful little ship, definitely on par or on level with a Titan. The one important thing to note with it is that we can never combine it with other fleets. We can never merge this with other ships. It is a unique event ship that is only allowed to be in its own individual fleet. Why might we want to get that battleship up and running? Well, the debt collectors are going to come calling. The first time they will arrive is as early as 2215. That is only 15 years into the start of the game. They claimed that we owe them 1,481,893 energy credits. And sorry, I don't mean the debt collectors specifically, I mean Minimar Specialized Industries. Now we can attempt to pay that amount in full. I really don't think anyone's going to have 1,481,893 energy credits, though maybe someone will try to do a playthrough just in order to do that. Alternatively, we can pay yearly installments, or actually every 15 years, either 5,000 energy credits, 2,500 consumer goods, or 1,250 alloys. Alternatively, we can give them some slaves. Sorry, not slaves. I mean indentured assets. There is an alternative to payment, and that alternative is non-payment. If we choose non-payment, they'll send the security drones after us to try to recoup their losses. That will mean we will have a fight on our hands in our capital system. If we succeed in defeating them, then we'll have to deal with the debt collectors returning yet again. You may have noticed a little bit earlier that I talked about the Gene Clinic and mentioned there was something fishy going on. Well, the fishiness going on is Minimar Specialized Industries. One of the first things they did when they arrived at our planet in the past was promise an end to illness. In order to do that, they gave us advanced medical technology and created gene clinics on our capital. However, the warranty on the equipment in those clinics is beginning to expire. We can either attempt to repair them or simply repurpose them. I'm not going to go through this full event chain in detail, but suffice it to say, it's interesting event chains like this giving you some interesting story choices, which I think are going to really make First Contact quite a fun addition to the Stellaris pantheon of DLC. Switching over to the makers of that original Gene Clinic technology, who definitely got us hooked on it and over-reliant, well, they are going to be demanding through the debt collectors we repay all of those sums that we apparently owe. Even if we manage to repay the full sum, they will probably come up with something else, however. Interest rates, legal loopholes, small print hidden in documents that we don't remember signing. We then have a stark choice. How do we fight back? Either with weapons or with words. We don't know exactly what happens if we choose with words, however, it is hinted that it is going to be attempting to take down Minimar Specialized Industries and their entire business model by way of the galactic community and lawyers. What we do know is if we choose to fight back with weapons, we will get access to a brand new wargoal. And that is Payback. Either we can choose End Threat or Make Tributary. In either case, we will not be able to have a status quo peace once the war has started. You are in it for the long haul until you destroy them.
Either we're going down, or they are.
And destroying them might be quite a nice option because their capital world is a size 25 relic world. Yes, you heard me correctly. Minimar Specialized Industries has a 25 size relic world for a capital. That would be lovely to add to your collection. But what then happens to the fiery spirit of revenge in your people? What happens when you finally defeat Minimar Specialized Industries and smote their ruin upon the battlefield? Well, that is where you then have a choice. Either you can be satiated, in which case you'll get a lovely plus 30% monthly unity from the Free from Strife modifier. It will end the Even the Score event chain and end the Debt Collectors event chain because there's no more debt to settle, wink wink. Or alternatively, you can become the proverbial child that was beaten and now wants to take revenge on everyone else, everywhere. You will gain access to the punishment Casus Belli to wage war against those who exploit pre-FTL civilizations. And that will allow you to go around and enforce your ethical point of view on the rest of the galaxy without needing to do things like change their ideology. But that is not all, dear viewers. We have also been given a sneak peek at what may be coming in the dev diary on Thursday, which is believed to be about cloaking. There was a momentary frame where one of the devs hovered over the activate cloaking very momentarily. Don't worry, it was slowed down, that frame was extracted, and now we get to see what the tooltip does. Seeing this tooltip should give us some insight into what is coming when it comes to cloaking technology. So when you press the activate cloak button, you will then, one assumes, activate the cloak. This orders the fleet to activate the cloak, as I've said, crikey, for the third time, and then it will allow you to bypass detection by conventional sensors. That implies there are some sort of unconventional sensors that may be out there in order to penetrate cloaking, which is actually quite against the speculation I've been doing until recently. I had assumed that our sensor technology itself, or the regular sensors we get on ships and starbases, would be the thing we use to penetrate cloaks. However, this makes me think that is not the case at all, and we're going to get some sort of special anti-cloak sensor. After decloaking as well, because you can also turn your cloak off, the cloaking field generator will need 120 days before it can be used again. So there is a manner of tactical inflexibility that must be regarded when we are choosing whether or not to activate and deactivate this cloak. Once we decloak, we can't turn it on straight away. This is an interesting little tidbit. I am very much looking forward to the full reveal of cloaking technology when we can find out more about it. If you've got any thoughts on what you think will be coming when we do find out about cloaking, please let me know your thoughts and theories in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video about Stellaris First Contact and you'd like to find out more about the new primitive buildings coming with the Broken Shackles origin, then click the video on screen now.